This is All Ears. Greetings to all of you fine folks in podcast land. I am your host for the next half hour or so, Everett Hopfner. I'm a pianist and a new music explorer. My guest this week is a very dear friend of mine, an excellent pianist and composer, and he has a name that rhymes, which is always an added plus, in my opinion. It is the one and only Jesse Plessis. Jesse is a busy man. He is currently engaged in preparations for the Centric Festival, which is coming up later this month in Lethbridge, Alberta. We had a lovely conversation about Jesse's background, his musical interests, and how he's integrated himself into the community. And also some pretty exciting plans Jesse has coming up for the near future. He is just an utter mensch. This was a very fun conversation, and it is coming up right now. Jesse Plessis, welcome to All Ears, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
I'm curious about your early background and what was your early contact with music in your family or in your childhood?
Well, where to start? My mother is an excellent singer. She's not a performer or anything, but just around the house. But she has a beautiful voice when she's singing. And my grandfather is an excellent guitarist, sort of in that like 60s instrumentalist surfer style kind of stuff. He's really good. So that was my first kind of contact with music. And then when I started playing, I was 13, and my father and his wife at the time, so it was my stepmother, went to visit some relatives, and they had three old, like, huge Heinzmans in a house, and they were super religious family, so I think they had like 7 or 8 kids or something, and they all kind of played and were practicing all the time and stuff. And I was just sitting in this house full of piano music, thinking, if I worked, I could probably do this.
How soon into your piano journey did you become a composer?
Right away, pretty much. For Christmas one year, I was like 13 or 14, like just starting to play the piano, and my sister bought me this compilation of classical CDs because she knew I was sort of interested in it, and I started listening to this stuff, and I was like, oh man, that's the stuff I want to play. I want to play Chopin and the Hammerklavier Sonata. I want to play all this stuff, but I had been playing for like 6 months, and you can't play that stuff right away. So I would,
Well,
this
maybe,
is
maybe
another.
you couldn't.
No, no, hey. Okay, I couldn't. This is maybe going to sound like another flippant kind of answer, but I started writing music because I wanted to play things that sounded like that stuff, but weren't as hard. So I really wanted to play the Bartok Sonata. So I have a sonata I wrote when I was 14 that sounds a lot like the Bartok Sonata, but it's not as hard. So that's why I started composing in the beginning, and then it got I guess more my own voice as I started to get older. At
And
least I hope.
were you notating these pieces as you were writing them, or was it kind of just playing and improvising, or what was your initial kind of pull in that direction?
Oh yeah, initially there was like no sense of large architecture or anything, very improvisational. And actually a lot of stuff I didn't even write down. I would just kind of play them for a while and then forget them.
Right, right. But it strikes me that even from that beginning, you were still attracted to something like the Bartok. Um, you mentioned, of course, in a list with Chopin and with Beethoven, but you also go to Bartok right away. And I mean,
Right away, Bartok and Prokofiev.
do you know what was that initial attraction towards, non-standard, let's say, traditional piano repertoire?
I have no idea. I actually I wouldn't call myself a new music fan. I would call myself a good music fan. There's a lot of new music that's not good.
Sure.
I don't as you know, I'm sure. I there's a lot of stuff out there and we have to sift through a lot to find the gems, right?
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the kind of what is the standard repertoire and the ideas of tonality and dissonance. I don't know if it's maybe like I grew up with like pretty much without any kind of standard training in the beginning, so maybe it's because I had that freedom to just explore in the beginning that maybe I got into this stuff. Like I remember like the first time I heard Ligeti, I was 16. And I had to pull over my car. I was so thrilled. I was driving down the road and I was listening to the violin concerto. I remember it very well. The second movement of the violin concerto, that glorious aria.
Uh-huh.
You know the Ligeti
Yeah,
concerto
yeah,
very
yeah.
well? Yeah. That's little Hungarian lullaby tune, which actually appears in several of his works. But I had to pull over. I was so thrilled by Ligeti, and and immediately in high school, and you go to play it for your friends, and they're like, "What is this garbage?"
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and yeah, we both grew up in small towns. We both know this thing with I guess like you said, non-standard music and that culture.
Well, I think, I mean, beyond that, I think, I mean, at least in my case, it wasn't just non-standard music, it was just like any piano music was just like already made you a bit of a freak.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, okay, full disclosure, I graduated high school in 2005. So what is everybody listening to? AFI, My Chemical Romance, the Good Charlotte, those kinds of things.
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah, and like, what are you listening to, Jesse? And I have my Discman. I'd be like, the Ravel Concerto. Do you know it? It's glorious.
What small town did you grow up in, Jesse?
Sparwood, British Columbia. It's that whole area thrives on coal mining. So that's my whole family. We're all coal miners. Like I don't know if you've been to the East Kootenays before, but the just like the natural beauty, like you're from a small town too. You must have feel like that close connection to nature, which
Sure.
I'm not sure you get if you grow up in an urban area. You know, because I walked out my backyard across the train tracks, and then it's just kilometers of trees and mountains. You know,
Oh yeah,
and
for me it was the same except instead of the take away the trees and the mountains and it was just empty fields. But it's a similar idea. It would go as far as you can see and it was just miles
that's
and miles
right.
of emptiness.
I don't know,
So
growing up with that sense of space, I don't know. I feel like that still comes up in my music too.
mm.
It's that connection to the natural world.
So let's fast forward from My Chemical Romance in 2005. Was it always clear to you that you were going to go pursue music in post-secondary education?
Uh, in my last year of high school, it was clear at the time, much to my father's chagrin. Uh, but he said if you're really gonna do it and you really can make something out of it, then go for it. Yeah. So so I
So
did.
where did that take you?
All the way to Lethbridge, Alberta, which if you know Sparwood, it's about 2.5 hours driving away, so not that far at all. But I started a bachelor's degree in music there. It was like I kind of showed up having no idea what that would be about. So yeah, like 17-year-old Jesse from this tiny town, like I have no idea what's up. And then like they kind of just put me to work. I'm like, oh, blimey, this is a lot of stuff to do. And so, it's obviously an adjustment. But I had a wonderful piano teacher, Deanna Oy. She's an Eastman graduate from Jean Barr's studio. And she's very serious. She's good, she's kind, and she's fair. But if you haven't done your work, you will get not a very nice talk. And my composition professor, Arlen Schultz, who is now one of my dearest friends in the whole world, was so encouraging. And it was kind of because of him that I stopped copying Bartok and became something closer to Jesse Plessis.
Mm.
So that's I had even in a small town like Lethbridge, I lucked out with some fabulous faculty members to kick my butt.
That's important. Um, and then you decided that one degree wasn't enough for you yet.
Right, right. Uh, yeah, well, I mean, when you finish a degree, you're like, well, what's now? More school. So then I came to Brandon, your
Hmm.
old stomping grounds.
Yeah, that's right. We kind of swapped out of each other because I left and then you came in the year after I left. So we never actually met in person in Brandon, but we got to meet each other afterwards, thank goodness.
Yes.
Um, a few highlights about your time in Brandon?
Well, Meg, Meg Misaki. Again, somebody who doesn't suffer uh, not doing your work, right? She was a serious ass kicker, Meg Misaki, and but also she's very supportive in like the rest of your life too, right? She would always tell you this scholarship's coming up, get your application together, bring it to me if you want me to go over it. This grant is coming up, this festival's coming up, you should do this concert, you should play here, right? She's just it was really great for like showing you how a career is made, right? Kind of how pragmatic you have to be
Hmm.
to make your life work this way. So she was really excellent for passing on those skills as well.
And I mean, of course, I wasn't there to watch this happening in person, but it seems to me that you also were able to take a bit of a leadership role in some of the things happening in the school, like with the new music ensemble, and also taking over with the orchestra for a time.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that was a blast. Do you know Everett? I watched. It was videotaped, and I got to watch. Okay, so for the listeners, Brandon University in my second year of masters, we went on strike. We didn't go on strike. The teachers went on strike. So about 2 weeks in, a group of us got together and we decided to just kind of try to keep the music school going. We're just gonna keep learning stuff and keep what classes we can going. And so we decided to keep the orchestra going and do the concert anyway. And I conducted because we did nothing with piano parts, so that was okay. But I watched. We did the Dvorak, the Eighth Symphony, and I watched the video after, and I swear to gosh, I will never conduct again. It was so bad. They sounded fabulous. They played so well. It was a really great concert, and that evening the strike ended. We played the
Maybe it was
concert.
the power of music that brought everything back together.
It felt like it. It felt a little bit like when those British holiday movies where it's snowing and everything ends up all right at the end. It felt really like that. But yeah, I will never conduct again. I'm so terrible.
So, how would you describe what's happening to Jesse the composer and Jesse the pianist through that path?
Oh, uh, you know what? The first time I met you, like the very first time, we were in the courtyard at Casal Majora,
That's right.
and like, you must be Jesse Plessis. I was like, you must be Everett Hopfner. And then we started talking for a while, and I asked you what you're doing
In Frankfurt. I was in Frankfurt.
in Frankfurt. That's right. And you told me what you're up to, and then you said, that the only thing I'm after is I want to improve. That's all. I just want to get better and better and better and better. That's it. And everything else that happens is okay. And after that, I was like, yeah, that's probably exactly the right attitude. So now whenever somebody asks me that, that's what I say. You're asking me it now, so that I have to tell the story.
Jesse, let's get into your experience a couple years back at the Winnipeg New Music Festival and in Banff. How did that come about?
Okay, it's gonna sound like my whole life is flippant and like unplanned, which I guess is probably not wrong. The Canadian Music Centre, the Prairie region, holds a composition competition each year, uh, and I guess it was the 2012 competition. I I had been intending for like maybe 5 years to enter it, but just somehow never managed to get the thing together. And then that year, I decided, okay, I'm really going to enter this competition this time. I'm going to write something. It's part of the prize is that the Winnipeg Orchestra, the Winnipeg Symphony, performs your work at their new music festival, which is one of the great new music festivals, maybe in the world. It's a week of one or two concerts a day, and some of the evenings are all world premieres. It's a fabulous, fabulous festival, like really, really top level. And so I thought, okay, got to enter, got to get something together. And the deadline was that year, October 31st or something like that. And I was coming October 20th. Oh, I'm not done. October 21st. Oh, I'm not done. October 30th. Oh, I missed it. Oh, bloody heck. So I was like, well, maybe next year. And then we all got an email that said, hey, the deadline's been extended to November 31st. I was like, okay, I have to do something. I must enter this competition. And then it came November 20th. Oh, not finished yet. November 25th. Oh, I'm not finished yet. And it was November 29th. I stayed up all night. And I basically, inside the period of about 15 hours, started a piece, finished it, formatted the score, printed it off, put it in the mail, and just there it went. And then a couple of weeks later, they called me up and said, hey, you won. I was like, what? And actually, I was really happy that they played it and stuff, but that piece is not really my proudest one. From 15 hours, I guess it's okay.
But I mean, it led to a really nice platform for you being included in the composers of the festival, and also it led to you going to the band center.
Yeah, and because I kind of like got to hang out all week at the music festival, and Kaya Sariaho was there, and I basically got to spend a day with Sariaho. We had a coffee together and talked, and oh, she is magnificent. I love that woman. Her music is so beautiful, and she was. I had done a kind of a preliminary analysis, just kind of like so I knew what was up. But there was this one all twisty, windy, complex passage, and I went, Sariaho, I can't really figure out what you're doing with your pitch material here. Maybe you can, while I have you here, you can tell me what's up. And she said, oh yeah, that thing. I am never too logical. And then she left it there. I am never too logical. I was like, oh, Kaya, take me with you. And so, and just getting to spend, a week around Sariaho. And Nico Muli as well. He's a famous young New York guy. Has really great things to say about music. I learned a tremendous amount that week. And then part of that prize, the CMC prize, was going to the Banff Center for 3 weeks. And so I got to go there, and just, the artists I met from all over the place was so, it was like waking up, I felt when I went to the Banff Center, like 14 years old again. Like everything felt new and magnificent, and exciting. It was great.
Jesse, there's something that I've kind of, I don't know, it's taken me a while to come to this kind of realization, I guess, but I mean, and maybe it's because I've been moving around so much, but I'm starting to really appreciate and really see a value in being established is maybe the wrong word, but really being connected to the community and to where you are and to who you're around. I think it's just critical, and you are somebody that I think I can learn a lot from in this area. It seems to me that you have, after your graduation from Brandon, you ended up back in Lethbridge, but it seems to me that you've really contributed so much to the cultural life of Lethbridge. So I'd love to kind of talk to you a bit about this whole part of your life that's happened recently.
Yeah, I guess I've been back in Lethbridge for almost 2 years now.
Can you give me some kind of a summary of your current active musician life in Lethbridge?
Oh, okay. Well, I teach 4 days a week in the evenings. I have 27 students I teach. They're all ages 6 to 22. So that's it's fabulous to have such a range. One of the most rewarding activities in my life is teaching, because you can think about how these kids were playing in September and how they play now. And of course, as a teacher, you can only show them where the door is. They're the ones that have to do the work. They have to walk through the door. But just play a small part in that is really rewarding. I give master classes once in a while. There are some lovely piano teachers in town. Maybe I do 4 or 5 a year lately, and they're really fabulous. Doing at least a few concerts a month, if not in Lethbridge, elsewhere, various places in British Columbia, like my old stomping grounds. Calgary once in a while, Edmonton coming up. Nothing too far away, but here and there, get my performances in. I'm a collaborator a lot with other people in the city, like accompanying students for their recitals at the university and stuff. Just keeping the rent paid and somehow doing it with the piano.
Sure, and that's of course in combination with your collaborations with these other groups in the city, like the Theatre of Play and other active musical members of the community out there.
Yeah, and actually, there's a theater company in Calgary that I write music for them sometimes as well. They're called Mudfoot Theater, and they're fabulous.
We've talked about the musical context of Lethbridge, but that has recently, in the last few years, had a significant new addition to it, hasn't it?
You can say that if you want.
I do want, and I will say that. Jesse, okay. What is the Centric Festival?
It's a music festival that I started in Lethbridge. Well, I shouldn't say only me. Teresa Thorderson, I think, pretty well. It was actually pretty much her idea. Last year was 3 concerts, and this year it's 8 concerts because it went so well last year, thankfully. We have a lot of music and some visiting artists, a lot of local artists, and I'm really excited for it.
This is not it's not a small project to take on and try to organize a music festival. So what made you go in this direction?
Well, that's something I learned. At first, it didn't seem like such a big deal. Teresa, basically, we were trying to organize an excuse for her to come to Alberta so we could hang out. So we were going to organize a concert for her and Chris Byman, the clarinetist, last June. And she said, "Okay, here's the program we want to do. Why don't you play too?" And I said, "Oh, that would be too long." And then I said, "Well, we could have 2 concerts, I guess, in a weekend." And then I don't know exactly how, but from 2 concerts it became 3, and then we decided to just make it a music festival, a little classical music festival, and invited some other people as well. And then it was very successful. Each concert sold out. Everybody came, and we got a little bit of sponsorship from some people in the city. And then it got so popular that we have a very, very high quality restaurant here called Plum, and the owner there is Erica Piska, and so that was June 2014 was the first festival. Then October 2014, she said she wanted to organize another festival but hold it all in her restaurant. So they got a piano and they moved it into the restaurant, and we had a 4 concert festival in October, and it was just as fabulous. It went just as well, and it was fabulous. It's a great little restaurant. It's just little bricks and a long black bar, and the food is like really top level. And Erica is just so fabulous and so generous. And so she kind of made that happen. And now the 3rd festival is coming up. We have 8 concerts, and hopefully it will have the same kind of quality and the same kind of response in the community as the last 2.
Can you talk about that community response? I know that you've been recognized by the city itself as a part of what makes Lethbridge great, but can you just talk about like what has made the festival possible in a town like Lethbridge?
Just people here go to stuff. if a show is happening, is people are curious and people want to go to stuff. And one of my favorite parts of the concerts that I play here and the concerts that I attend here is that after it's finished, nobody really just goes home. We all stay in the theater, and the artists come out, and we all just talk about what just happened and what everybody else is up to. Everybody. It's great. It's a city, but it has a real small town feeling. We're all friends, and we're all just hanging out. So it also has a pretty informal feeling in a good way. In a good way, it feels just like when I play here, it's a conversation.
Mm. So you have this new festival coming up in June. Can you tell me a bit
Yeah,
about when it's happening, who's coming, and what you have planned?
it's June 24th to 28th is this year's festival. Uh, and I'm so excited about everything. Okay, so we have a little troupe from Winnipeg, Manitoba, coming. Some of our old friends, Teresa Thorderson, Chris Byman, the clarinetist, who's also going to do some conducting for us, and Luis Ramirez, one of my favorite humans on this earth. Oh, he's so great.
And Luis
Um,
is also a previous guest of this podcast, so you can check in the archives and hear his story.
that's right. Yes, and then. A lot of local artists from the city here. Brian Black, he's a great Schubert scholar from the university here, and also a wonderful pianist. Bente Hansen, one of my dear friends, she's one of the beloved pianists of the community as well, so she'll be playing. Um, we have an orchestra that I put together. Don't ask me why I did that. Don't ever let me have that idea again. It's more work than it sounds like to put together an orchestra. Um, but I really wanted the festival to go out with a really big concert this year. So we have an orchestra. The last night we're doing the Chopin Second Concerto and the Goretzky Third Symphony, which doesn't really sound like a bang because those are two of the saddest works that I know. We're going out with a sad bang. But I'm excited for that. There's a choir from town here. They're called Incanto, and they're lovely. They're beautiful singers. Um, so yeah, just a little bit of everything. Mwansa, she's like a kind of, what should I say, like a soul kind of R&B singer. So she'll be doing something as well. One of our concerts, we're going to do. It's called Celestial Mechanics, and we're doing all outer space themed music, which I'm super excited for. And we're going to put all on one wall projections of various images from, like the Hubble telescope. From the Voyager missions, from Cassini. We're going to put all this stuff up there. And we're going to play all works. George Crumb's Celestial Mechanics is where we got the concert name from.
Hmm.
We're going to premiere. Luis Ramirez has. I have no idea how this is going to go, but he's writing us an homage to Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he's used audio samples of Neil Tyson's voice,
Wonderful.
and we're going to incorporate that using a MIDI keyboard and four hands piano. And I'm just really excited for that score to arrive. And then also, I'm going to give the premiere of 6 piano pieces that I am writing now, a set of 6 pieces, each one an homage to different scientists and stuff like that. So really like a math and space themed evening that I'm just really excited for.
And which concert is that, Jesse? When is that happening?
That's the Thursday, June 25th at 8 o'clock.
Great. I think it's so exciting, and for you to take the initiative and put this thing together, and to see it grow to 8 concerts, I mean, that's really spectacular. And also, I mean, looking at your program and some of the projects you have planned in the programming, I think it's really excellent. There's so much variety, and anybody who can hear my voice who is in Southern Alberta or from further away but feels like making a nice trip somewhere nice, they should think about definitely checking out this festival. I'm really excited for you, and I'm sure it'll be great. We have a recurring segment on the podcast that you have been featured in the past, and this is the Mr.
Oh
Rogers
yes,
Memorial Fantastic Person of the Moment. Uh,
most fantastic person of the
yeah,
moment.
so if you can tell me about somebody who's helped you along your journey, I would love to hear it.
When I got your message about this, I was really beating myself up. Who you gonna choose? Um, but I hope that all the other people I didn't choose will be okay. Because there's so many important people. All the teachers, my whole family, mother, father, grandparents, everything, friends, colleagues. But today, I'm going to talk a little bit about my father, Ronald Plessis, who's not a musical guy at all. um, but he taught me, probably without either of us knowing it, some of the real important things about being a musician. Probably important things about being anything, but about being a musician, that the work ethic. It's and not teaching verbally, but by example. This guy has an unbelievable work ethic, a curiosity, an appreciation and curiosity about everything, mechanical things, especially the natural world. This curiosity about everything, and actually, we had a really rocky relationship in my early life, and it's maybe only in the last 2 years or so that we've, I guess, probably came to appreciate each other. But we get along fabulously now. I don't know if it's because of him or me, or probably the stubbornness is inherited. But it seems that in the last year or so, we've put a lot of differences aside, and I love him to death, and I hope he's around for a lot longer.
It's beautiful. It's amazing how inspiration can come from what on paper might be the most unlikely of sources. Jesse, what's next for you? So you have the festival coming up, and what happens to your life after that?
It's so hard. I'm going to move out of Lethbridge to Montreal in September to take some advanced piano studies with Paul Stewart. A fabulous, fabulous pianist and such a great teacher. Again, this calmness that so many of the great artists have, that self-awareness, that calmness. Is a great teacher, and an illustrious career too, studying with Michelangelo, studying with Kendall Taylor, this kind of stuff. And also, Montreal. I've never actually lived in a larger kind of city before. I mean, I like to call Lethbridge the city that always sleeps, or sometimes the little grape, or something like that. But in Montreal, it's a literal metropolis, so it's going to be an adjustment for me. But I think it's time to do this extra degree, And I'm also excited. I've been out of school for 2 years, and I love school. I love one of my favorite things of all time, called the library day. You go into the library when it opens, and you spend all day learning, and then you leave when they kick you out. And that is some of my favorite days I've ever had in my life, or library days. I love them so much.
Jesse, where can the fine listeners of All Ears keep track of your activities and also keep track of the festival?
Oh, great. So we're on Twitter, at Centric is our Twitter handle. Facebook page is just Centric Festival. And our website is a little bit of a convoluted name. It's centricfestival.wix.com/2015.
Once again, everyone in Lethbridge and in Central Alberta and in Southern Alberta who are interested in great music, please mosey on down to Lethbridge, June 24th to 28th. It'll be really worth it. And talk to Jesse. He's wonderful, as you've heard. So, Jesse, thanks so much again, and we will, I'm sure, talk again soon.
Thank you, Everett.
Wasn't that fun? I thought it was fun. I had fun. That is it for this episode of All Ears. Hey, episode 12! We have existed for 6 months. That's exciting. I've really been enjoying this project, and I am looking forward to keeping the party going. It is not going anywhere. New episodes of the podcast will continue to be released twice a month on my website, everetthopfner.com, and on iTunes. You can find links and further information about all of my guests on the website. You can follow me on Twitter at evhopf, that's EVHOPF, and the show at This Is All Ears. I love hearing your feedback about the show. If you're enjoying All Ears, leave a rating and a review in the iTunes store. Tell everyone you love. Like the likes, tweet the tweets. You can send some carrier pigeons and some skywriting planes to let the world know that this is a show worth listening to. All Ears will be back in July. It's summertime. Let's enjoy it.